Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Dead by Daylight. Today we are playing as the new killer, the Trickster. But this video is going to be a bit different because this isn't going to be live commentary. You see, what happened was I was streaming this over Discord to some friends and I didn't realize that I was still recording it at the time. So I figured rather than just delete the footage and just get rid of it, I could use it and, you know, do post-commentary, and then what I can do is I can give my thoughts on the Trickster and some other changes towards the patch as a whole, like to do with Wraith and everything else. So here we go. So the Trickster is an interesting character for sure, but at the moment he's a little bit on the weak side. And I'll get into that in just a second, but I need to point out, this Ash I'm following now has lag spikes throughout the game. You'll see one in a couple of minutes. I missed this here as well, which I was kind of embarrassed at. There was no way I should have missed that swing, but you know, sometimes that happens. I'm going to catch him on the other side when he drops down, but this is where you'll see his first lag spike in about even less. There we go. And that's a great glitch, by the way. I love when that happens. It's like, yeah, I know you're in there. Just come on out. It's fine. Also, by the way, if you are going against the Trickster, same thing with the Huntress, never hide in the locker. Because you actually have a reason to check lockers as those two characters, because you need to reload. So, you know, don't ever do that. But yeah, the Trickster is a little bit weak overall. Mainly because his knives, his decay, it happens far too quickly. The fact that you can lose all of your progress towards downing someone while in a chase with them around the loop is actually quite horrific and absolutely should not happen. It's great for moments like that when you're maybe stuck on the side of a pallet and someone's going for a rescue, you know, and you can't get there in time to just give them a basic hit. It's great for that. But if you're going around the loop using knives, it's kind of more of a hindrance because it slows you down at the same time. You know, if the decay didn't happen during a chase, like if you were actively chasing someone and the laceration decay just didn't happen, I think that would be a lot better to begin with. So that's one change that they need to figure out what they're going to do, like from which angle they're going to take. I mean, whether they're going to remove the decay entirely, which I think might be a little overkill, or if they're going to slow it down or do something else with it, whatever. But they need to do something with the laceration decay because at the moment it happens far too quickly. There's also the problem with his main event, his main ability, where you have the option now at least of when it triggers after you fill the bar up in the bottom left corner where it says 60 for the number of knives you have. The white border around the outside, when that fills up completely, his main event is ready to use. The problem is, you only have about a 10-second window to actually trigger it, to use it, before it just goes away, it vanishes. And I think that's a bit stupid, because you're not always going to be in a spot in the game where you can use it immediately, you know, upon filling that bar up. It's just not always going to happen. It's going to happen once or twice, maybe, like super occasionally, but for the most part, you're going to trigger it or have it ready to go when you've already downed someone and there's no one else nearby. So you just have to kind of let it run out and then start over again. Yeah, this is the point in time where I decided that killing Ash would just be like a mercy killing, because flashlight save and he didn't run away, so I was like, you know what, we're just gonna end him here. It's kind of good for both reasons, because let's be honest, I'm sure we've all played as a survivor with lag before, and that's not the best experience in the world, and we've all played as a survivor with someone with lag, and you end up spending your time constantly healing them, picking them off the floor, rescuing them, whatever. So I figured, you know what, it's a bit tunnely or whatever, but killing Ash was actually, from a certain point of view, a kindness to the other survivors, and they just hit my haunted grounds. So if I was ever going to down someone, it would be a good time to do it now. But yeah, Trickster's main event needs work as well. I think also having him run at 110 speed is a little bit too slow because of all of these problems to do with his power. It's not dangerous enough. You know, it doesn't do enough damage. You know, I mean, it's one of those things where a lot of people compare him to just being a weak huntress. And at first I was kind of like, no, it's just because no one knows how to play him yet. But the more I think about it, the more they're not wrong. Because at least with Huntress, yeah, you can miss her hatchet shots, that's fine. And I have on here routinely, you've seen me do it. But you only have to hit a survivor once for it to, you know, knock a survivor down a health state. You've only got to hit them once. With the Trickster, even with the add-on that reduces the number of lacerations, you've still got to do it like 6 or 7 times. Which, on a loop like this, is a bit of a problem unless you're going against survivors that don't know what they're doing. I think I actually do that in this game as well, later on. Where I keep walking backwards and forwards across a loop where the pallet is down, and I just hit the survivor with one dagger each time they walk past the pallet. I think I managed to get someone down that way. But aside from that, there's not much you can do with it. There's not much you can do with it, especially with the recoil. Like, now would be perfect. But trying to aim, especially on console, is just horrendous. You know, I mean, even without the recoil, let's be honest, it's going to be tricky to get these exact things down. So, yeah, he needs changes. I mean, he's a fun one to play, don't get me wrong. But fun doesn't always win games. And I know it's not always about the winning, I get that. But it's just... he had so much potential. And I feel like most of these concerns were raised in the test build on the PTB. Most of these concerns were raised because, you know, the same problems were happening. Like, okay, look, here we go. So main event's triggered, and it's going to run out in about 3 seconds if I don't use it. Which I don't, so it goes away. That's it, it's done. I don't get to use it now until I recharge it back up again. Although this is actually where I managed to pepper her eventually by just walking back across the pallet every now and then. Like, one more circuit and we'll do it. See? It's great for moments like that, but not much else. So yeah, the Trickster definitely needs work. Like, he's not a lost cause by any stretch. Not a lost cause at all. Sort out the laceration decay. Make it so that his main event power doesn't automatically run out for whatever reason. I don't know why someone thought that would be a good idea. You know, increase his base speed, that kind of thing. The best, most interesting suggestion I heard, actually, I read, was, as well as the lacerations, what the knives could do is, for each time it hits a survivor, that survivor's speed drops by 1%, up to like a maximum of 5%, so they end up running at 95% speed if you hit them 5 times. Obviously only for a limited duration, but that could be great for closing loops as well. Because then you only have to hit them like 2 or 3 times before they get to a loop, and then you've instantly got the advantage. I was waiting for that dead hard, that's why I didn't swing. I get him here though. And there's a point coming up here actually where I pick Jake up, and then Nia comes up alongside me. I didn't realize Nia was injured, so I could have absolutely swung for her. I'm checking for her here because I know she's got the flashlight. But I could have absolutely swung for her there and got her down. Maybe I wouldn't have made it back in time to pick her up off the floor before she escaped, but it would have at least got me a few more points for, you know, downing her. So I definitely could have played that bit better. But yeah, this has been the Trickster. He's, like I said, fun to play, but I've been saying this a lot throughout this video, and I apologize, but he needs work. he needs work, and fast. Because I can't see anyone playing him for long otherwise. Like, maybe a week, 2 weeks, and people would just stop playing him because other killers do his job better. And that's really a shame. In any case, this has been Dead by Daylight with the Trickster. Hope you've enjoyed the little change up to this format. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.